Okay, good morning and welcome to Everything Home Theater. I appreciate you for visiting my channel, and thank you to everyone who takes the time to like, subscribe, comment, say hi. I appreciate all of the interaction that I can get. So I got video tagged from another channel called Secondhand Home Theater, and Matt there was tagged from Pedro at Pedro's Movie Cavern. It's a little challenge where for Halloween night, if you had 8 hours to watch movies of your choice, which movies would you pick? In general, a lot of people say 8 hours. Oh, that's 4 movies. A lot of movies are under 2 hours apiece. Therefore, if you can squeeze an extra one in, great. If you end up with 3 because you're watching 2.5 to 3 hour movies, then great. Anyway, I went through my movie list after Matt tagged me, and I told him I'd make a video. So, trying to hurry up and squeeze this in before Halloween so I can tag some other people. Stay tuned to the end of the video for my number 1 movie pick and a bonus pick, because I was under 8 hours when I picked 4, so I was able to pick a 5th one. Also stay tuned to see who I'm going to tag and see if I give them enough time to get out a quick video before Halloween. So anyway, number 1 pick for me is a movie called Event Horizon. Event Horizon came out in 1997. It is rated R. It is an hour and 35 minutes long, so I'm kind of working on that shortness there for that bonus. Event Horizon is about a spaceship that, this is in the future, has this thing on it that they call a gravity drive. When the gravity drive does its thing, it basically can be looked at 2 ways. Some of them had called it bending time and space in half so that you can go from here to here in a split second. The other one said it created a wormhole. In general, kind of the same thing because it's basically a teleporter. It reappears 7 years later, and they've got to go on board and look and try to find the crew. They want all the crew accounted for. But when this ship has come back, it has brought something back with it. It is not a monster or an alien, so I will stop right there and not give it away. But their deepest, darkest, most personal fears are brought to life. I hope I didn't just ruin it. Anyway, I thought this was a great movie when it came out, and it's really kind of a mind bender. It's very, because it's on a spaceship, it's very dark and kind of gives you that feeling of dread. So anyway, that's my number 4 pick as we work our way down to number 1. Number 3 is called The Babadook. If you haven't seen this movie, you need to see it. It's really good. The Babadook is it enters your house through a book, a child's book. But what the Babadook is a manifestation of depression and grief and self-solitude. So therefore, it's another mind-bending movie. And the way that this movie really injects fear into you is everybody has grief and depression at some time, whether it's the loss of a family member or a pet, or to get more deep, some people, they have illnesses. Depression's nothing to laugh about. Depression is very hard for a lot of people. So to bring it into real life and actually personify it, it becomes a real thing. And people deal with it every day as if it was an actual material item, if you know what I mean. It's not something that you can just wipe away and say, oh, let's go on with the day, gotta go to work. It really affects everyday living. So anyway, The Babadook came out in 2014. It did not get a rating. So, and it is an hour and 33 minutes long. So anyway, there you go. That is number 3. Not only is this movie get into your brain, it does have a physical adaptation of grief and stuff in the movie, and therefore you get the jump scares, you get the the tinglies. You might get some of these. So anyway, a good movie. Number 2 is The Conjuring. I had actually started here with something. This was a really hard list, and I might actually throw out some titles at the end that I added because of nostalgic value. A lot of movies scared me more when I was a kid than they do now, and sounds really weird. So a lot of movies scare me. I'm kind of a big chicken shit, and I'm not afraid to go outside and real life stuff, but there's just something about movies. The way I get into them, I'm kind of like backing up into the couch, or I might turn my head and act like I'm grabbing a drink as I'm trying to peek but not see the part that's going to make me jump and get my dog or something. So anyway, I'll do the ones that I wanted to put on this list, or movies that I at least went through that might be a little more nostalgic at the end. So anyway, back to number 2, The Conjuring. Rated R, came out in 2013 and is an hour and 52 minutes. This is the longest movie on my list. The nice thing about movies when they take time, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, is they really can pull you in with a story and character building, the surroundings. They really get you involved to make you feel like you're part of the team or the story, or you're the one sitting in the rocking chair when something comes running at you, whatever. The Conjuring is based off of supposedly a true story. And I say that because there's a lot of other movies that branch off of it. And I am also subscribed to another channel, The Y-Files. And he delves deep into a lot of these horrors or alien or Anunnaki kind of things. And he will tell the story like it's totally true and that it's been proven and whatever, and then he debunks it. But then he debunks some of his debunks and kind of leaves you still up in the air, but it's interesting. But the one thing he did find out about the Conjuring movie, no, not the Conjuring movie, the real life story of the Conjuring, is that a lot of the things that happened in there were actually exaggerated by him because they were famous. And the man and his wife that did this, the man kind of did all the setting up of the stuff and bring in the crew. The wife was the one that actually had the powers. They're not powers, but she actually had the brain capacity or whatever to feel things that were happening in the room. And granted, she did have some of that, but I don't think they were as good as they make them seem to be in the movie. Anyway, what the Y-Files went in and said was a lot of these things were exaggerated by the man and the woman as they did stuff, and then they would talk to the families, and the families would actually, if they didn't make it up, they would exaggerate what they were talking about too, because they were getting book deals, movie deals, newspaper, TV ads. They were getting publicity. Some of them got money out of it. Some of these people, from these kinds of stories, not the Conjuring concept, but from other stories, a lot of them told stories and never got anything out of it. Those are the ones that I believe more, because they're doing it to share their story. They're not doing it to get popular or anything like that. In The Conjuring, they come into this house, and apparently, years and years and years ago, a witch was hung in front of the house in this really nasty tree, and she has cursed the house, or she's haunting the house. It's been a while since I've seen it, but that's kind of what I remember. And there's things moving all around the house. There are physical interjections from the ghost, actually getting violent and physical with the homeowners in the movie. This movie, number one, makes you jump a lot. It is creepy. It is dark. And it does. This was a really scary movie when it came out, I thought. But anyway, this movie led into, due to box office income and stuff like that, this movie led into 3 other Conjurings, I think, and then branch offs. Annabelle, I don't know if you've seen that, but they kind of clip by in The Conjuring this doll. And you see it, but there's nothing huge about it. in the next couple of movies, you know, they show her and stuff, and then they actually got her locked up because the elemental evil that could be felt through the doll needed to be contained. And that's something that these two people did, was whenever they found something evil in the house or something that actually had a manifestation on it, they would take those and lock them up. I don't know what you lock ghosts up in. I don't know if it's glass or plexiglass or if it's gold plated stuff or lead. I don't know. But plexiglass seemed to work for them. Or just setting it on a shelf. And then let's all keep it in one big room where all this evil stuff can make big plans. I don't know. That kind of stuff. That's kind of dumb. I don't know. I'd probably be burying that stuff out in the backyard as deep as I could and tell my dogs to stay away. Anyway, great movie and creepy. Check it out. Number 1. This is probably one of the most mind-bending, could be real, could not. I believe in aliens. I don't know why. I've never seen one. I don't think I've ever seen a UFO, and if I have, I thought it was a falling star or I thought it was something else. But my number 1 movie came out in 2009. It's PG-13, so if you're over 13 years old, you can watch this. But I highly recommend you have your stuff together. And this movie's creepy. But my number 1 pick is called The Fourth Kind. The Fourth Kind, one thing about the movie is the way that it's set up is on one side of the camera, you'll see the movie that's being filmed. On the other side of the TV, or the camera, TV, since you're watching it, on the other side of the TV, you're going to see live footage from captured video in, like, I think 2000. You're going to see live footage that was captured from therapy sessions and doctor sessions and hypnosis sessions and stuff. And then they were just trying to turn it into a movie, but they show you the real life clip on one side. So if you don't like that half real movie, half Blair Witchy kind of thing, you know, Blair Witch is different because it was like you're always looking out of the girl's eyes. This looks like you're looking at an old recording of something, and this is the movie that's being showed to you in a more clear 4K 1080p. This looks like VCR tape kind of thing. The whole movie is creepy, and it is about aliens and basically coming down and checking on people, and they see them at night and something about 3:33 in the morning. And if you see owls outside your window, it's not owls. So I don't know if you live in the country or see owls, but beware. The other thing about this movie is there's stuff happening when people, like when they're under hypnosis, you're not supposed to do anything. And these people under hypnosis start freaking out. They start, they're here. And it's like, this guy's like seeing stuff in his sleep. It's creepy. But after watching this with he's probably 22, 23 at the time, had his own place. He called us on the way home because it was probably 11 o'clock at night here. He called us on the way home. We live out in the country. We live on 1 acre. We're out in the country. It's dark. And as you're driving into the closest towns, you don't have street lights and stuff like that. You don't have blocks. You're driving, it's dark, and you're watching for glowing eyes. You're watching for deer or raccoons or foxes, coyotes, mountain lions. You're watching for that stuff so you don't hit it and it doesn't run across the road. But he was about 15 minutes from our house, and he called us and said, I am so freaked out. I'm never watching another movie again when I leave your house like that. Anna Jovovich, she plays the main character in this movie. And she does a great job. The way this movie's put together is great. I'm not going to spoil anything for the movie. I'm not going to tell you, because I did more research into it in the past. I'm not going to tell you anything, but it takes place in Alaska because more people disappear in Alaska than any other place. So anyway, tell me what you think about this list. Tell me if you would put any of these in your list, if you've watched them or haven't watched them, what you thought about them, because it's just interesting to hear what people, all scary movies to me can be kind of freaky. and I don't know, maybe it's just me. So anyway, my bonus movie. So I had this down to where I could add in about 80 minutes. I found a movie that was 57 minutes. And in that 57 minutes, this movie I have not watched. So this may be one that we'll pick to watch Halloween night. This movie is called Host. Host came out in 2020 during COVID. So this movie, it got really good ratings, which is why we'll probably watch it. Doesn't matter. I watch dumb movies anyway. That will be part of my upcoming thing. I think I'm going to start roasting some movies, so stay tuned. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it. I like B movies and I like making fun of them, but we'll see. We'll see where we get with that. Anyway, back to the host. No, not the host. Back to Host. Host, it looked like to me, just by watching the trailer, takes place during COVID, and 6 friends host a Zoom call. And the person hosting, they look like they do a seance or something. And when they do this seance, because they even talk about, oh, we can't hold hands, we can't have a candle in front of us, but everybody have a candle in front of you and just concentrate real hard. I'll probably get roasted for that. So anyway, everyone concentrate real hard. So, and I think they said, think about someone that you're trying to contact. So they do all this, and in the process, you would think if there was a seance that the anomalies would happen at like the host's house, but it looks in the camera, since you see 6 different views of people, you see stuff happening behind them, like 3 or 4 people's lights will turn off and then they'll come back on and they'll be like, what was that? So they all start kind of freaking out. This movie, by the stars on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, got good reviews, and I never even heard anything about it. I don't know how. We watch a crap ton of movies. So anyway, that's one we'll probably check out on Halloween night. So if you want, right here, you can stop the video, or if you're just interested in hearing some things that really kind of affected me when I was a kid, that stick out in my mind like scary. So I had Poltergeist on my list, and not the new one, but the actual original one. In the original one, it was just scary. The lights, the tube TV going, girl talking out of the TV after she had been taken just seemed more realistic. It just sticks out in my mind. When the tree is trying to eat the little boy, it's what I think a tree would be like, all stiff, and part of the board breaking off and trying to get it down through that hole. There was a hole in it or something. The new one is much more, it's like, not only was it malleable, but I don't know. I like the old one. The clowns were scary in both. Clowns are creepy. And stuff like that, but that's probably where the creepy comes in, is you take something meant for good and you turn it to evil or scary or creepy or whatever. So anyway, I thought it was a great movie. They both have the same plot. There's something evil in the TV, there's an evil in the house. They're both buried on Native American, not graveyards, but burial grounds. Another one that I wanted to put on the list was The Gate. The Gate came out in like 1987, something like that. The Gate came out in 1987, and I believe this was Stephen Dorff's first movie. He's been in a lot of movies, and I really like his acting. But in The Gate, it is a little more, I don't know, just kind of back in the days of heavy metal and play the record backwards, and that makes it evil. Don't worry about ruining your record player, because that needle, it'll be fine going like this. Whatever. I really liked The Gate, and it had kind of a claymation or stop motion special effects to it back then. There's a part where there's a big creature of some sort standing in the hallway, and they scream and it falls over, and when it hits the ground, it turns into all these little things and they all scatter off. It's better visually than like Critters or what are some of those other little creepy movies where little hand puppets. Um, not visually better than Gremlins, not visually better than E.T., stuff like that, but visually better than Critters, visually better than The Leprechaun. I did like The Leprechaun. That was another scary movie, I thought. Doesn't like to bite your ear off and make a boot out of it. It's probably my favorite line. Anyway, those were a couple of the things. Man, went through Jacob's Ladder, Flatliners. So many good scary movies, and I can't remember them all. Of course, as I was going through my lists and trying to make my picks, I could see all these that I wanted on a list, and I was like, why couldn't this list be like 50 movies? The last thing you want to do is hear me for 4 hours. The last thing I want to do is be down here for 4 hours. So anyway, coming to the end of this, and I want to thank Matt for involving me in this. I've been playing around with DaVinci Resolve and really trying to learn the software. Cut, paste, edit's easy. I'm trying to look into particle dissolving and doing some special effects and trying to green screen stuff. So I'm not sure where my channel's going to go. I'm everything home theater, and I have started building a home theater. I'm a slow builder. It's going to take forever. So I'm trying to find something to fill the gaps, and maybe I'll gain some subscribers while I'm doing stuff about movies, because that's one thing we do. He said do. That's one thing we do just about every night. I can't tell you what we watched because I'm 50 and my brain does not retain stuff very well. I'm a mailman also, and I've got 740 customers on my route, and I remember everybody's last name and a lot of their first names, but I think that's where my brain is I've ran out of storage, and there's no upgrade for me like in the movies. So anyway, I will eventually get to the home theater. One of my next projects, I'm trying to finish another bedroom over the side. My wife and I do eBay, and we've got a ton behind this wall here. We have a ton of stuff to go on eBay, and it's going to go into a storage room once it's been packed and ready to ship. I've got to finish that storage room before I can start on the theater room. Tell me if I'm wrong. Once I start on the theater room, I've got to get electrical done. I have got to put in a water drain for the water room where our water pipes come in the house. If something breaks, I want it to be able to drain out there instead of 15 feet away by our furnace. So, and then I'll get into the electrical. I've got to put in a 30 amp outlet for. We bought a commercial sized popcorn maker. It is literally about this tall, and it's like 3 foot by 3 foot. Requires 30 amps. It's got a built-in heater, and there's 2 of us. So theater room is going to be really cool, and I've got big plans for it. And I do have it framed out, but it's going to be a while till I get to it. So hang in there, stick with me as I do some of these movie things. You'll see some of my practicing. If you didn't, I just put out a It Chapter 2 video, and I was playing with a voice modulator. Don't think I'll do that anymore. I also did a dissolve effect on the It poster at the very front. It took me 3 days to figure that out. That's where we're headed with this channel. I want to thank Matt. Let's get back to the good stuff. I want to thank Matt at Secondhand Home Theater, which I will put a link in the description, and I will post it right. See if I'm here. I will post it right here. I want to thank the name of the channel is called Pedro's Movie Cavern. You can find him at Cinepocalypse online, right here. And then if you watch this, or maybe I can contact you somehow and let you know, but I'm going to video tag Elon Osborne at Elon Osborne. That's a great channel, and he's funny. He's very quiet. Love you, Elon. He's funny though. Dude takes a lot of time. He just made a video about a Bluetooth speaker, and he made his own rap song for it. And I thought it was a real song, and I was like, wow, I didn't know there was a song about Bugatti. the Bluetooth speakers Bugatti, and he wrote, directed, produced, or whatever this song, and it sounds great. So at Elon Osborne, I'm also going to tag at Theater at Home. At Theater at Home. George, I really enjoy George's channel. He's very down to earth. He's not into these thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment. Is very practical. Same reason I like Matt's channel, practical. And I'm also going to, well, looks like I've got two people I'm going to tag. I've interacted a lot with K-Pace Guy, and I really like his channel. So, Kyle, I'm tagging you on this. See if you can throw out 4 movies. Doesn't have to be as long as this one. Kyle usually does speakers, subwoofers. He's done projectors. He does lots of other just tech stuff. Not veering off the subject of home theater. He's done like Wi-Fi. Actually, from Kyle, I won a Wi-Fi speaker amp thing. That's plug it into your stereo here. Plug this thing over here, and it'll send 50 watts to a couple speakers. Kyle's a really nice guy, and I'd like to tag you and see if you can throw one of these out at K-Pace Guy. And I'm also going to tag Jordan at I never know how to say it. Haterade Cowboy. Sometimes you guys say it so fast, I don't. Haterade Cowboy. From past video, that was what his friends used to call him when they would game, like Gatorade and Haterade, something like that. Anyway, I talked with Jordan a lot 2 or 3 years ago. As I'm a mailman, I would be out till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock during Christmas time, and I'd watch one of his videos and be commenting, and we'd just start chit-chatting back and forth on his video that he had just put out, and I really enjoyed that. Jordan's a really nice guy. I have a friend at work who has 4 kids that have YouTube channels, and I'd like to thank them for following me from the beginning and always being encouraging and commenting on my posts and interacting to help get boosts in the YouTube algorithm. And those channels are Sweet Cooking with Sarah, Interstellar Legends, Infinity Haven, and Intergalactic Order. I'm challenging you guys. Either I'll do your own video with movies, or each of you put one movie in and put it on one of your channel. Anyway, look forward to seeing them. I'd like to thank you all for watching this, visiting my channel. Hit like and subscribe. Smash whatever. You can lightly tap that like button, and when you go to subscribe, if you lightly tap, because you're probably doing this on your phone and your TV's probably not touchscreen, so lightly tap your phone, hit that subscribe button. When the little arrow pops up, hit that arrow and make that white bell. Be notified of every video I put out. Anyway, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.